Yeah.
All
right. So
right.
here we are again.
Hi.
Hi. So, Catherine. Sarah.
I'm Seraphis.
The bitchy oracles. Oh, oracles of bitch.
Oracles of bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, last week was the bitch. Oh, got it. So, you came up with a good topic this time. You texted me.
I did. So I wanted to have us talk about the ideas of boundaries and how to lovingly engage and what that looks like when people are challenging you in different ways.
Yeah, especially people in our fields, being disrespected for our gifts or being called charlatans and so on. It's a downright disrespect to another human being. And how much are you to hang in it, per se, or be around it and accept it? What the hell's that about?
What is that about? So do you, as a spiritual person, as someone who is endeavoring to bring healing and love and compassion into the world, are you required to tolerate hate or disrespect within your circle of friends, circle of family, or even just in your general environment? And I think the answer is no, you don't. I mean, I don't think you have to have somebody right here next to you to love them. You can love them from afar, is what I like to say. If you can't respect me, or show common courtesy, and have a mutual level of respect, I love you, but you're not going to be my friend, and I'm not going to commune with you and validate, because I feel like it is a validation of that lower vibration, that lower energy.
Right.
Yeah.
I've had people do that, just completely, almost mock me for the work I do. They're like, oh, the word charlatan is always thrown out in the work we do.
Yeah.
And that's your belief. But all what I respectfully say, you know what I do, and I honor your belief. I honor what you think. But if you're going to be around me, I expect and also insist that you don't treat me that way.
Right.
It may be what your thoughts are, and that's your belief. But I'm not judging you on the type of work you're doing. Say, shyster lawyer. I'm not sitting there going, oh, wow, how many people did you scam today, or so on. I'm not judging that. That's your profession. Inwardly, I may be, but outwardly, out of respect to the other person, that's what they do for a living, or that's who they are, and that's where they choose to reside in right at that moment.
Sure.
And it's not good to do that in return. Yeah.
Well, and I also think, there's this idea that if we have diverging spiritual beliefs or divergent religious beliefs, that we can tolerate and accept each other's differences and still get along, which is perfect, and I love that. But I think where we start to get a fuzzy line is you can decide for yourself that a certain behavior or a certain way of being is, in your eyes, against God, but you can't make that decision for me. Right? So that's where we have to create those boundaries and say no. I mean, if you are going to be hateful towards the LGBTQ community, I don't want to be warmly embracing you.
Right.
Not that I'm hating you, I'm just not tolerating your what would we think of that as?
Prejudice.
Yeah, your prejudice in my sphere of influence.
Right. And you don't have to engage in that person. You can, like you said, love them afar, and you can be selective in the exposure of that person. I have acquaintances and friends who are just in not great places. They're highly judgmental. They're very negative in their words. I can only handle them for a short amount of time. I will be happy to have a conversation with them and so on. But if it comes down to where it's too negative, I bail.
Right.
It's like, you know what? It's been great. I got to go. So on. I don't have to say, listen, you're being a dick. Knock it off. I don't appreciate what you're saying and so on. But, there's a way of being a little more passive about it and nice and not,
Sure.
Most people don't even know they're being a jerk.
That's true.
Because they don't know. They are strong in their beliefs and their behaviors and so on. And I get that. And they could be just blowing it out their ass and have no idea how it truly is affecting me. But I'm not going to sit there and get into an argument with them and start preaching, because they're going to perceive that as me preaching my spiritual stuff onto them and converting or whatever the case may be. But it's like, you know what? I need to go. I got to run. I got an appointment, whatever, and just end up just kind of backing away, making the space. It's not hatred. It's not anger, but it's honoring me.
Right. And I don't expect everybody to agree with me. I don't expect everybody to have the same beliefs that I do. But I do insist that if you and I are going to be engaging on any type of relationship, whether that is a casual one or a more intimate one, that you respect my opinions and my beliefs. Right? Which are for love and an expansion of spirit, and don't include allowing other people's how is that? I want to say that, because here's the thing. So what's most important for your spiritual development is being true to your vibration and your alignment with your truth and your personal journey. And it's important that you validate that through making boundaries as to what you're willing to accept from other people. If we all were able to do that, there would be a lot less hate and a lot less intolerance, because if you're focused on yourself and your own journey, you're less judgmental of somebody else.
Right. And the minute you start pointing out other people's, what you perceive, and as other people's perceptions of shortcomings, that creates the conflict.
Sure. So we're not talking about, it's not your place to decide what their journey is and to decide that, maybe they need a difference of opinion or to change their circumstance. You're just saying, not in my house.
Right.
Exactly. Not in my field.
Yeah, because you hear, and it's most difficult with family, because, I don't want to talk to them, but I have to. They're family. No, they just pissed you off.
Yeah.
And it's okay to distance. You're not going to disown them and so on, but just in any case, just because they're blood relative.
Well, and then sometimes you
doesn't give them the right. Been there, done that.
There are those circumstances in which, to create health in your environment, you need to disconnect from toxic people.
Right. And it's tough. Yeah, that's a tough thing to do, to overcome that conditioning of every culture has it, that you're supposed to care for your elders and do this, do that. It's all about honor the parents and so on. Yeah. But if you grew up, right? But if you grew up being tortured to death by your own parent, why do I want to sit in that as an adult, reliving those memories, because they're still in their emotional bad behavior?
Right.
But you're an adult now. You can choose to engage or not engage. Numerically, yes.
Oh, okay.
You and I are both numerically an adults by all legal standards, but mentally, no, we're little kids.
But yeah, so I think, again, it's like there comes a point where you have to recognize another person's inability to come to where you are. Right. And rather than subject yourself to continued abuse or disrespect, it's important that you create those boundaries and say, no,
I love you, but I love me more.
Yeah. And that's a really important thing to be able to do, is to establish that. And that's the thing. A lot of people think boundaries have to be like hard and no, you cannot. And it can be, hey, I love you. I would love you even more if you didn't do that. If you kept that over there, stay over there.
Or even as like, I love you, but right now I'm in the middle of something emotional. I'm hormonal. Everything just annoys me. Could you just go over there for a few hours?
Days. Well,
yeah, days.
Indeterminate amount of time.
and not talk to me.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that. It's not you. It truly is me, because I'm hyper reacting.
Well, that's the thing. People disparage that it's not you, it's me. That's accurate in every single situation. It is never the other person. It is always you.
Yeah.
Always. And you should be proud to take that and say, this is me declaring I need time, I need space, I need a different environment, because I have to tend to my own needs, right? This the masks in the airplane. You have to put your mask on first. You have to take care of yourself first before you can help anybody else.
I actually wrote that specifically in the article I'm writing.
Yeah?
Yeah, it says that you have to help yourself first, and then use the airplane thing, because you have to put it on first before you can even help a child.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to take the risk. You're almost gambling with your life at that point.
Yeah, and your own health and well-being.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what you want, because you want to be strong enough and capable enough to assist other people. But that means having strong boundaries.
Right. And as an energy worker, healer, so on, I see this a lot with the blurred boundaries, because it's that need to help the world, help everybody, to the point of over-helping. And into inserting themselves unwantingly into someone else's world, or giving unsolicited advice and so on. No, stop.
Or manifesting illnesses because they're just so overworked.
Right. They're just taking no time because they're putting it out for everybody else. Well, again, you have to help yourself first before you can help anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
It's about self-care. There's times in my schedule I'm just too tired.
Yeah.
Just too damn tired.
And I always tell my clients, you can call me at 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm not answering.
Exactly.
Leave me a voicemail. I have my ringer turned off so that you can call and leave me a voicemail.
Right.
I'll follow up with you when I'm awake and caffeinated.
Yeah, it was somebody had asked me a few years ago, how do you keep, why do my clients, not mine, but this other person, why do my clients just can't seem to think for themselves or do for themselves, and they're always calling me at all hours? I said, because you allow that. You allow them, you respond when you're up at 2 a.m., you're looking at your phone, and you're responding at 2 a.m. You have trained them to know that you are on call 24/7.
Yeah.
And to be there, and they now rely on you for the whole thought process. And then you complain about being constantly tired, never having time for yourself, this and that. Well, only you can give yourself the time.
Right. It's really important when you're self-employed that you learn, but not even just self-employed, but you learn how to create those delineations of, this is my downtime, this is my family time, this is my me time, this is my work time.
Yeah. And those are fluid.
Yeah.
Everything is fluid. And now there are the hard boundaries, because you know what you know. No means no. Whatever that hard boundary is that makes you so uncomfortable without compromise.
Right.
It's based on your morals, your values, whatever that is. But then it goes into in the moment decisions.
Sure.
Yes.
Well, and again, so we're back to mindfulness, paying attention to how do you feel when this person is leaning on you, when this bug is landing on you. How does that make you feel? I feel uncomfortable. Therefore, I'm going to get it off of me. Not because I hate the bug, it's because I don't want it on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I really don't like people and things crawling all over me.
Yeah. And it's the same about, the people in your sphere, that your friends, your coworkers, your family, and especially your clients, just recognizing what it is that you need and being able to lovingly have those boundaries. Yes, I am compassionate that you are not in the same space. I understand that there are reasons that you feel the way you feel.
Right.
But you can feel that way over there. Thank you.
And again, you don't have to be a jerk about it, because you want to take into considerations other people's feelings and what they may be perceiving. And it's not judging you, but if you know someone has an abandonment issue or whatever or issues around betrayal, if you let them down the applied expectation, they're going to react in a very not so good way. Sure. So you let them down. Communication all comes down to it. So if you find you're in the middle of it, just bow out. Gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I would love to. This is what I do with my clients. Sometimes I don't have it in me to return a phone call. It's the end of the day, later in the afternoon, or the day before. I had a show with lots of sessions. I don't want to talk to another human being, and then I'll get a phone call from a client, and I know it's going to be a lengthy phone call. Or even if it's a new client, they like to sit and chat, which is fine. I'm not going to do that when I'm tanked.
Yeah.
And
because that doesn't benefit anybody.
Right. And when I do call them, I apologize for such a delay, and I'm able to explain it. So I wasn't feeling good yesterday, and I explained, being that I was not at my top performance, I wanted to be able to allot the time you deserve.
Yeah.
So we can discuss the issues and get it. I want to be there for you. And people are more appreciative of that, instead of going, oh, yeah. They do at first. They get a little bitchy and a little attitude, but then when you explain it that I did not return your call or didn't jump on it because you deserve a better quality.
Right.
A better quality from me. And all of a sudden they're just like, thank you. They thank you because I'm looking out for them, but really, I'm really looking out for me first.
Well, and that is the lesson there in self-care is it is about what you can ultimately do for other people. First, you take care of yourself so that you have the strength and the compassion and the wherewithal to be able to, share yourself with the world at large.
Mm-hmm. And, one of the big things, you want to question yourself for that, because people are like, well, I have to give, and they put myself last. How do I break that cycle? Well, ask, what are you sacrificing to help that person?
Right.
Yeah, do you have to rearrange your schedule? Do you need to put everybody else in front of you? Or make radical changes like the shell game? What do you have to rearrange in your world to accommodate what that person needs? The minute you have to do that, unless it is a dire emergency, you do that and say, I would love to help you once I accomplish these tasks for myself, my family, so on. Or just say, when I am done with this, I will. Or I'm sorry, I can't. I have all these other prior commitments I need to hold myself to. I need to keep before I can promise anything to anybody else. So there's ways of just saying it without being a total, again, dick about it.
You don't be a dick.
No, dick, douchebag, whatever.
Yeah. You can lovingly create boundaries that support your need for compassion and respect and hospitality and hospitability. Hospitable
environment. But also, it's come on,
really, buddy.
Yeah, that was like a creepy crawly all over his skin. It's also the minute you. Also, part of the boundary thing is how many times have you agreed to help someone as you're saying sure, because it's such a reflex. You're like, I got so much to do, or I'm so tired, or I really just don't want to help this person, but I feel obligated because it's a person in need. You need to just ask yourself before saying yes out of reflex of how am I feeling? Am I really excited and happy and willing to give without condition?
And sometimes you are and sometimes you're not. So, that's a great tool to train yourself to respond to requests with, I'll have to check my schedule. I will get back to you.
Right.
And then take some time for yourself to figure out how you feel about, in that moment, what you're giving to the person.
Yeah, because you don't want to sit there and say, yes, great, but then have this little festering wound of resentment and anger towards yourself, towards the other person. And there's that little voice going, ugh. Oh, I don't want to do this. Okay, I'll do it for you. On the outside, inside, you're loathing the idea and the regret and resentment. So pay attention to that that nonverbal cue your body is giving you.
Yeah.
Because that's going to save you a lot of hell later on down the road.
No one wants to go to hell.
No, not at all. So pay attention, and again, fail when you can. Again, there's always those things. Who has the hardest time? Moms.
Oh, well, yeah.
Because you're starting to give from the time of conception on.
Yep.
And it's like
Giving your body, giving your sleep, giving your nutrients, you're giving from the very first moments. Yeah.
Exactly. So when do you start backing off? You know, when do you cut the umbilical cord,
when
basically?
They hit 3. And the temper tantrums. Oh my God.
But I see so many parents step in their children's lives when they're adults to do for them, to bail them out and so on. That's called enabling. And also, I'm calling it doing someone else's karmic homework. Because when we're all babies and kids, how many of us touched the hot stove after we were told, don't touch that, that's hot? And we go up and touch because we don't understand what hot is. But you will burn yourself. Yeah. You got to learn for it. You only have to stick your wet finger in the socket once. Oh, yeah. Been there, done that. And the hot stove, you know, we need to have bumps, bruises, and scrapes throughout our whole life. It's no different through an adult. Having them go through a minor financial crisis. I mean, if they're ready to go in jail, you may want to help them here. You know, if they're the extremes.
Right.
But if you're like, oh, Mom, help me with this, Mom, or it's just more or less that need to insert again, oh, they're struggling. I don't want to see my baby struggle. And you do it for them. It's like they're 30 years old.
Yeah.
You know what? They need to learn or stop trying to bail them out of these horrible situations, because really, is it truly horrible? Or are you holding up? And that's also why, it's holding them back spiritually, emotionally, physically, because part of that is doing someone else's homework. We're here to learn. We're here to learn, to experience. So every encounter is a lesson. So if we are not prepared for the test, no. So what happens if you do someone else's homework? What do they learn? Nothing. What happens to you? You are too busy doing someone else's work. You don't get to your work and you start falling behind. But in life's tests, everybody's afraid of being a failure. But no, tests are to tell you where it's not a failure. It's a deficiency in knowledge.
Right.
So when you remember taking a test in school, when you get that test back, what's the first thing you look at?
Score.
The score and what did you get wrong?
Right.
You don't need to look at the right answers. You already know the information.
Right.
And then you review it. Yeah. And boy, damn if you don't remember that information. And then then you're allowed to retake the test. And
you do better.
You do better each time. You never study the knowledge you already know.
Right.
During the review, you're like, oh shit, now I see it. Now I remember. You get the test again, you do better because you now have it. And isn't those I remember many of the questions I got wrong.
Right. Forever.
I remember the information to this day.
Yeah.
Because you were so down on it and you were determined to remember no matter what. So life is exactly the same way. So when you're doing someone else's karmic homework by bringing everybody you love and know and so on out of their own little scrapes, you're not doing them any good in life, because they're going to fail their test miserably unless you're going to stand in for their test.
Years ago, I would go to see Mr. D, was a very famous Philadelphia psychic, and he would always say to me, the more you do for them, the less they do for themselves.
Yep.
And it's a good lesson to figure out, because there is a way to be helpful and nurturing and compassionate that also allows you to receive reciprocally.
Ant.
Yes, I know, ant.
On foot.
Ant on foot.
See, I'd be losing it by now.
I know. I am uncomfortable.
Yes. But it really is a huge, it's very important. I see it so much. I mean, it's no different. It's a weird form, like I said, enabling.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's about boundaries. So it's really difficult as a parent, specifically, or as someone who has love and affection for another person, to create those boundaries that allow that other person to grow and at their own pace. I mean, you have expectations of, I want to help. The best thing you can do is just say open space for them.
Right. And you just have to ask yourself, is this person going to die in this experience? If the answer is no, it's probably just one of those life lessons that you need to sit back and just wait with bated breath to see if they come out of it alive. and be there almost as a safety net just in case. But don't let the other person know. It's like they know you're there, but allow them just to live their life and be just an emotional support. That's it. That's it. And it's tough. It's tough. I know it's tough for moms because it's just a way of life, but it's learning to. And the biggest thing is hearing, oh, I want it better for what I had as a child. No, that's your issue.
Yeah.
Kids are having it better now than what we did. But we still have to put our finger in the wall socket once in a while to learn not to do it.
Yeah.
And some people have to do it multiple times to get the point.
Well, first they do the finger, and then they try the key, and then they try the fork.
Then you have your house is burnt down from electrical fire, you know.
Eventually they'll get it.
Yeah, eventually.
Or they won't have a house anymore.
Yeah, just make sure, hopefully they have good homeowners. So that's about it.
Yeah.
So
boundaries.
Boundaries.
Lovingly create boundaries for yourself, for your loved ones. Recognize your part in maintaining a really beautiful experience through, this is what I'm willing to tolerate. This is what I expect from my friends and acquaintances. And
you don't have to put up with other people's bullshit.
Yeah, you don't.
Not at all.
And the less that you engage, the less it bothers you. Really.
Your shit's your shit, my shit's my shit. And I'm sorry, your Louis Vuitton baggage does not go well with my Gucci. Just doesn't work that way.
Sure.
You know, your luggage needs
keep it separated.
Yes, keep it separated, or make sure they match really well, similar, so they are not clashing.
Yeah.
So I think that's it for this one.
That is, So we're the Oracles of Bitch. I am Sarah.
I'm Catherine. And let's get out of this buggy place.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Bye.
Bye.